And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks and weighing 218 1/4 pounds, originally from the streets of Brooklyn. He passed through the hometown of the late great trainer of champions Customato. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undisputed, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson.
Could anyone have beaten the young Mike Tyson? This question was asked by many boxing experts and amateurs of the late 80s. People searched for great names from boxing history: Rocky Marciano, Gene Tunney, Jack Dempsey. It was not about the contemporaries of Iron Mike. He was considered invincible after knocking out national champion Michael Spinks. The huge Briton Frank Bruno did not look like a serious threat to the absolute champion. Only his friends believed in Big Frankie. However, the boxing fates gave Bruno chances that he could not miss. Frank came late into the world of boxing. Nature rewarded him with big hands, a powerful torso, and a strong blow. He did not linger in the amateur ring. He needed money. After 21 fights in the amateurs, 20 of which he won by knockout, the huge Briton went to hone his skills in the professional ring. Bruno so desperately cracked down on his mediocre rivals that he saw no reason to drag out fights for more than 10 to 12 minutes. A couple of times his counterparts did show strength, and in these moments, Frank looked bad. His huge muscles demanded oxygen, and his own blows exhausted him. Still, he managed to get away with it against the average opposition. Sly and slippery James Smith managed to knock out Frank in 10 rounds. This Briton clearly did not expect this and fell into a knockout. Bruno made some changes. He worked on endurance, began to distribute his energy across multiple rounds, and stopped throwing himself headlong into the attack.
The South African Jerry Coetzee. How would Bruno handle a man of Coetzee's undoubted strength?
The level of opposition had grown, and Big Frankie had grown up with it. He won the European title, knocked out the famous Jerry Coetzee, and entered the WBA title fight. In July 1986, Tim Witherspoon knocked out Bruno at the end of round 11. Tim didn't look good, but Frank looked even worse. The defeat pushed the Briton to the very bottom of the heavy division ratings. In 1987, Frank returned with 4 victories. And what a sight to behold. He was a different boxer. He became adventurous, a sweeping British small, as if he'd been replaced. He had honed shots, a good defense, all-around quality boxing. After defeating Joe Bugner, Frank Bruno became #1 in the WBC and WBA ratings and received the right to fight with Iron Mike. Because of Tyson, the battle with Bruno had to be postponed as many as 3 times. The fight was originally scheduled for October 8, 1988, and was to take place at the famous Wembley Stadium in England. On August 23, 1988, Mike clashed in a street brawl with Mitch Green. Iron Mike had trouble conforming to the rules of boxing, exampled by his brawl with Mitch outside of the ring. During the brawl, he completely broke his right hand on Green's chin and was forced to submit. He was sent to the emergency room, which resulted in a cast on his right hand and a 3-week rest. The match with Big Frankie was postponed to October 22nd. But what peace can there be when it comes to Iron Mike? On September 5th, he had an accident and lost consciousness. He had a concussion and again was prescribed a 3-week rest. Moving forward on October 7th, Tyson divorced his wife as his personal troubles continued. This time there was a 3-week period of mourning. In the divorce, Mike settled and $125 million went into the pocket of his ex-wife and her mother. Don King barely had time to set a new date. In the end, the English managers refused him a fight at Wembley Stadium. The third date was set for January 14, 1989, Las Vegas, USA. Mike did not want to box that close to the old New Year. On a tip from Don, Mike decided to fire his mentor, Kevin Rooney. Kevin stood up for manager Bill Keaton. In the end, King fired both. Changes in the champions' camp led to the next postponement, and the fight was pushed off to February 25, 1989. While the champion frolicked and resolved final issues, Frank trained. He went to the battle in excellent physical condition, but this still did not convince boxing experts that it would be anything but a fiasco. Frank's chances were set to be 1 to 7.5. Mike's plan was not to drag out the fight. His thoughts were not in the ring, and he acted extremely straightforward and unsophisticated. The loss of his trainer Kevin Rooney was keenly felt. He was the man who made Iron Mike a super fighter. It takes a long time to lose skill. Tyson was still dangerous, but his mental state left much to be desired. Bruno had a chance to win, but he was just scared.
Shake hands, good luck. Zebra.
Frank escaped as best as he could. The Briton treated the champion with blows to the back of his head, for which the referee took off 1 point. 15 seconds from the start of the battle, Mike knocked his opponent down, just as predicted.
They got him. He was down. He'll have to take the standing 8 count. Bruno has all the pride of England standing for him. He gets tagged again by a right hand. He's trying to hang on to Mike and hit. Mike is just looking for an opportunity to Cobley already. Right hand misses Frank Bruno. Bruno has come to try and mix it up. He's hanging on to the head of Tyson. Tyson got him with the uppercut.
At the end of the round, Bruno hit with a precise left hook, and Mike's legs bent. Big Frankie himself did not believe what had happened and failed to develop an attack. The moment was lost, and with it, his last chance to win.
Clear, but he was caught by a shot by Frank Bruno. Tyson trying to fight back, and Bruno did catch him.
Bruno knitted the champion and even got in a few good punches, but he was not going to win today.
Inside of 10 seconds to go, as you see. The right hand catches Bruno. Left hook. Bruno looks ready to go. Now is when he's going to hang on. And he does. Where Frank Bruno is just kind of a stand-up guy, almost tailor-made for Tyson. That time he caught him with those out. Bruno was caught that time, and Tyson knows it. Tyson trying to attack now to finish him off. Bruno has the wherewithal. Tyson gives him room to come off the ropes. Scores with the uppercut. Lands a big right hand. Bruno's in big trouble now. He's ready to go. He hits him with a right hand.
Mike was not his own, but in the end, he tired of this state of affairs, and in round 5, he beat the Briton on the ropes, and Richard Steele stopped the torment.
Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight. It's all over. Michael Tyson wins on a 5th round TKO. It came at 2:55.
There's never any doubts in my mind because I'm the best in the world. Even though a lot of you don't like to hear it, it's fact. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best.
And we fight on HBO, the network of champions.
After the defeat, Frank took a 2-year break. Mike lost his title fight against James Buster Douglas and also decided to rest behind bars. In late 1991, Bruno returned to the ring, won several good victories, defeated Carl Williams, and looked good in the battle against Lennox Lewis, which, however, was still not enough for success.
It was a classy burst from the champion, but he needs more of that. And every time he does land, Bruno's... This shows every signs of developing into the toughest fight.
Well, one thing's for sure, this certainly is a great heavyweight title fight.
Look at Bruno here, coming up with their left hook, catches him, and Bruno was hurt by that. And now Lewis is looking to close in to finish this, and Bruno is in trouble. Bruno is in big trouble. And Lewis carries on a relentless assault here, pouring on the punishment. These are bad moments for Frank Bruno.
Lewis scored a win against him at the ropes. On the fourth attempt, Frank Bruno became the world champion. In the fight with the holder of the WBC title, Oliver McCall, Bruno looked bad. However, the judges decided that Big Frankie deserved to become the new champion.
And new Bruno is the champion.
Meanwhile, Mike Tyson was released from prison. He fought a couple of battles and again faced Bruno in his first defense of the WBC title. This time, Frankie was not such an obvious underdog. The odds were 1-5, which, however, did not help him. And for the second time, fate turned against the British heavyweight. Mike went into the battle with a broken left hand and a high fever. This was known in Frank's camp, but again he was unable to take advantage of the circumstances provided.
He's concerned about keeping Tyson under control of the belt. He'll be very anxious.
Every time he comes in, he's going to hold him. He's not going to let Mike do what Mike wants to do.
And Tyson's people wanted to bob and roll. He lets him a target attack from
He didn't do anything, but it was a nice effort.
And anytime, here comes Tyson. Tyson with a combination with 20 seconds left in round one.
If he makes a mistake early, you can't fix a chin that was never great to begin with.
A left hook by Tyson, but Bruno comes forward. 7 seconds to go in the round.
I guarantee you.
A left hook by Mike Tyson, flush in the face of Frank Bruno. Another left, and a combination by Tyson, and Bruno holds on.
The champion fought bravely, but did not want to win. Desperation and hopelessness were read in his actions. On March 16, 1996, 7 years after the day of their first fight, Mike again beat Frank. In round 3, he delivered 13 accurate, unrequited punches. Referee Mills Lane stopped the beating.
And it is all over. It is all over here in round 3.
After the battle, Bruno, barely moving his lips, broken in blood, announced his desire to conduct a third battle with Mike. However, a day later, Frank learned from doctors that he should not box against Tyson or any other fighter. Iron damaged the Briton's left cheekbone. The medical board diagnosed the risk of complete loss of vision. Frank Bruno completed a sports career. In 2 battles against Mike, he earned $10 million. In both cases, fate favored the British heavyweight. Both times, his formidable opponent was not in better shape. Tyson could be defeated, as Buster Douglas and Evander Holyfield proved. Plunging into the history of boxing and reasoning retroactively, many experts asked a logical question. Why, in both cases, did a well-trained Bruno not do anything against a poorly trained Tyson? The answer to this question suggests itself. However, Frank did not hide the truth. He was just scared. In an interview conducted by Larry Merchant, it was said, Frank could have beaten Mike, and then in 1989 and 1996 he was a monster. Against him, Mike Tyson is just a boy. Frankie loves boxing. Each muscle is designed to beat people. Fate is all to blame. He burns a person from the inside. But Frank was afraid of Mike Tyson. He admitted to me that he suffered from nightmares after their first fight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. We'll see you in our next exciting boxing video.